You're listening to Expectations with your host, Sofia Riverso.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Expectations Podcast. I'm your host, Sofia Riverso. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about love, loss, and overall doing things that make us happy. We all love in different ways. We are all different and unique and ourselves, and we all have different ways of showing affection, loving, and just overall being who we are. And when it comes to love, love is love. And we should just love who we want to love what we want to love, and just be happy, because life is way too short not to be happy. So we need to just take the moments that we can and just embrace them. Let's talk a little bit about loving, fandoms, and, musical artists or actors or movies or whatever makes you happy. I want to talk a little bit about my One Direction days. And as I'm sure most of you know, we lost one of the One Direction guys a few months back. Liam Payne sadly passed away, and that was just so hard for me, and I'm sure it was hard for a lot of other Directioners, and of course his family and friends. I don't want to pretend like I knew him personally or anything, so I can just imagine what the people were going through that knew him personally. I didn't, but he still made an impact in my life because of how deeply I loved him and how much of a fan I was. See, when I was a teenager, One Direction was everything to me. I had wall-to-wall posters, and I had a Harry Styles cardboard cutout, and they were just everything. I knew everything about those boys. It was maybe a little unhealthy, but at the end of the day, it made me happy. And, I didn't grow up with, crazy amount of friends, so One Direction's music helped me. It gave me friends, and it was like a safe place for me. They made me very happy. So when Liam passed away, I remember it felt like I lost a friend. It did. It felt like I lost a friend. And of course I didn't, but in a way I did. And again, I didn't know him personally, and I don't even need to record this episode, but I feel like I wanted to talk about it a little bit. It has been a few months since we've lost him, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I'm more than sure a lot of other people relate to me. And the whole thing is I felt guilty to be upset as I was because I didn't know him personally. I remember I was just gutted when I heard the news, and at first I thought it was a joke. Because I never thought that I would see the day that one of the 5 members passed away, and I didn't think that it would happen so young. And so I was just completely gutted at the news, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know them personally, so people are gonna think I'm weird for reacting like this. I literally felt like I lost a friend, so I was just honestly not okay for a little bit. I couldn't even listen to their music right away because every time I would try, I would just bawl. So I could not listen to their music right away. Took me a bit to start playing their music again. And even now when I play their music, or if I see a video or something and I see Liam, my heart kind of is just, sad. And I'm so sad for his son and his family. It's such a sad situation. And, so I just remember, though, I was I felt weird. I felt like I shouldn't be feeling this way because he's a celebrity and I don't know him personally. So even though I was so upset, I was almost trying to hide it a little bit because I was no, like, I don't know him personally. I'm fine. But I wasn't fine. He made such a big impact in my life, and especially in my, like, teenage years. Those 5 boys made such an impact on me and, helped me become a part of who I am today, right? And so it's okay to love something so much that it upsets you, like as if you lost a friend. Like, that's okay. It's okay to love something to the point where, it's a big part of your life. As most of you should know, if you watch my YouTube, or I don't know if you know, but I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. And so years ago, I got a little lightning bolt tattooed onto the side of my foot. And I wasn't even embarrassed to get that tattoo because I love Harry Potter and it's a big part of who I am. And I thought, I want to get it tattooed on my body, and it's not something like so in your face. Like, I just like the little cute little dainty tattoos, right? So it's a little lightning bolt, but it made me so happy because Harry Potter is something that is a huge part of my life, and it's always been a huge part of my life, and I think it will always be. And at the end of the day, it just makes me happy. So when I got that tattoo, I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and it was my very first tattoo. So, I mean, I love it. I still love it to this day. And so it's like, at the end of the day, you just got to do what makes you happy. And I'm not saying go out and get a tattoo. No, like, that's not for everyone, and that's not what everyone wants to do. But what my point is if you want to get a tattoo for Harry Potter or Star Wars or Friends or whatever the heck you like, go do it. Like, who cares what people think? Do you, and do what makes you happy. Because, again, this life that we're all living is just far too short. So just be happy. And, again, who cares what people think? Like, at the end of the day, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because people are going to talk regardless of what you do. So you might as well do what makes you happy, because they're going to talk either way. So just be happy. Now, a few days ago, I actually just got a One Direction tattoo, and getting a One Direction tattoo is something that has been on my mind for a very long time. And because I was so young when I liked them, they started to be a band when I was in elementary school. So I think I started to be a fan of Harry Potter and One Direction at like the same time. But anyways, I was very young when I started to like them, and obviously I was very deep into the Directioner world. But they played a huge part of my life, and the reason I took so long to get a tattoo is because, again, I was so young when I was a fan of theirs, and so I didn't want to do something that, because at the end of the day, tattoos are permanent unless you do the laser removal, and I heard that that's just too expensive and too painful, so not on my bucket list. For me, if I get a tattoo, that thing is on my body for life. And so I want to be sure before I dive in. And so I took so long to get a One Direction tattoo because, again, I wanted to be sure. Now, as they grow up, I paid attention to them less, and I still listen to their music. I'm still a huge fan of theirs. But the whole thing is, I have my own life to worry about now, I'm an adult. I actually have adult things to do and, a lot of important things to worry about and a lot of responsibilities, because being an adult kind of sucks. But anyways, so it's like, I can't worry about their life as much anymore because I gotta worry about mine. So it just kind of like left my mind. And then I think when Liam passed away, it kind of brought that love back. I mean, I never stopped loving them as a group and stopped loving their music, and I never stopped being a fan, but it wasn't like my full focus. But then when Liam passed away, it kind of brought that back, and it made me realize how much I really do love them still, and how much I am still a huge fan, and that part of me will always be a part of me. Always. And the whole thing is, I didn't just get a One Direction tattoo for my current self. I got it for my younger self. it's so nostalgic for me. Like, listening to their music, I just think back to those days when I was a huge fan, and it's like the good old days, you know? And I was so innocent, so naive, and I just loved these 5 boys. And so for me, it's nostalgic. And so I got the One Direction tattoo, and I got 5 little arrows on my ankle. And if you would like to see it, I do have a vlog up on my YouTube. My YouTube is Sofia Riverso, just my name. So go check that out if you would like to see the tattoo. I also got a tattoo behind my neck. As you guys know, I also have this tattoo, Expectations, aka the name of the podcast. But yeah, I got another tattoo behind my neck for my nonna. So that's a little bit more sentimental to me and my life personally. But the 5 arrows on my ankle, it's still very sentimental to my life, and especially to my younger self. And it makes me happy, and I love that I got it. And so again, that just goes back to my point. You have to do what makes you happy in life. Who cares if it's getting a silly little tattoo, or going to an expo, or, you know, trying to meet these celebrities, or, I don't know, going on a trip. Like, just do what makes you happy. And the whole thing is, of course, a lot of this stuff is not cheap. It's a lot of money. But I'm a firm believer that money will return. You can always work to get money back, but you're not going to be young forever. Again, life is too short. So you have to live while you can. You have to make the memories while you can, because money will return, but time will not. Time is like the thing that is like, it dooms us, okay? Like, time is the thing you can never get back. I'm not going to be 26 forever. You know, my birthday's going to come in the summer, and I'm going to be 27, and then I'm going to be 28, and then I'm going to be 29. I'm going to get married one day. I'm going to have my own place. I'm going to have kids. Not everyone walks that path. We all have different paths because we're all different and we all have different lives. But my point is, one day you're not going to be the person you are today. You're going to evolve, because that's life. And we all get old. We all get old. It's just a fact of life. We all get old. So you will not be able to do the things that you can now. You will not be able to do it forever. So money returns, time doesn't. You just have to live your life and do what makes you happy. And yeah, because happiness means the most in life. This time in the podcast, I want to talk about my quote for this episode. So the quote that I found that I like most that relates to this podcast episode is, "Whatever you decide to do, make sure it makes you happy." And that's quoted by Paulo Coelho. I think that's how you say it. My apologies if I'm wrong. But I like this quote because literally it just says, whatever you decide, make sure you're happy. And it goes back to what I said. 1, who cares what people say or think about you? But 2, like I said, people are going to talk regardless of what you do. So you might as well just be happy, you know? Happiness is like the thing that's going to keep you young. It's going to keep your life, it's going to allow you to live longer. It's just, happiness is so important. If you like playing Super Mario Bros, just play it. Or if you like dancing, or you like ice skating or hockey or whatever sport you like, or maybe you're not into sports like me. Maybe you're an artist, you like to paint. Maybe you want to change your career path. Just do it. Just be happy, because that is the most important thing in life. And there were so many other quotes I could have said in this episode, because there's so many quotes out there that relate to this topic, but it doesn't matter, because the whole point is that you just need to do what makes you happy and just be who you are, because you're unique and there's no one out there like you. You're one of a kind. That's it for today's episode, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you can take some of the advice that I am giving you and run with it. You know, just live your life and be happy. Just be who you want to be and love what you want to love. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in my next episode.